too much of it. We didn't need to see too much of it. Now we do. Starting on that T side, of course, Black Dragons, made in Brazil, the more preferential side of CT. The question is, can they use it to their advantage and build up the lead that we saw Black Dragons do in map number 1?
Oh, we're going to start off with a little bit of a slower start to the round here. Get yourself paced in. Looks like it's going to be some early in the map banana control, not necessarily early in the round. And again, it's a nice little 5-stack because you are still on pistols. You don't want to split yourselves up too much because that does put you at a bit of a disadvantageous position. Does work out quite nicely for them that they're pushing in towards this B side because it's not as heavily guarded.
No, Julie leading the charge well, trying to claim the goal position. Spotting out both, in fact. And Julie and Arnie combine. Just like that. I mean, everything looking very good over towards the B side. Smoking towards CT. Bomb to be planted. Numbers now favoring Black Dragon. I don't know, Sam. This is becoming a very dicey affair as Flystyle is leading the charge in towards Anna Church. Trying to cut down that supposed position, but going to be met by Nanny, finding one more. Julie comes in for support, trying to double down on her kills, but she's going to fall back towards the crossfire. It's all down to 2. Flystyle and Hera have to come alive. That's easier than done. Smoking towards the front side. Don't get the coast left. A quick trade from Hera, but she has to find 2 more. And Younger to kickstart her tally the same way she finished it in towards map number 1. It's Black Dragons with an opening round, a pistol in their favor. Sam, not the start MIBR we're looking for.
I mean, this is massive, right? Not only do they get that bomb down, they win the round. I mean, this is huge. It's exactly what they needed to kind of pivot themselves a little bit here. And it is a bit rough for MIBR. Of course, they're going to have a little bit of cash. I'm actually surprised at how much they're forcing into this. They're even buying into the scout as well, giving themselves as much firepower as possible. But it's going to be rough to come out on top, given the buy the Black Dragons have come out with.
Yeah, you look towards MIBR, just a scout. Couple of great pistols, but it's the full investment. You know, lose this round for MIBR. That's Black Dragons more or less confirming themselves 3, potentially 4 rounds on the board. That's not the start they were looking for. The scout, the only big investment already out, but the count with the eagle. 5-star makes it second. Black Dragons to be collected. That's 3.
Oh my god.
This has now changed hands oh so emphatically as it's all down to just 2. And both are taking significant damage. Flystyle might have just turned the tides for MIBR.
What a nasty round there. I mean, Flystyle had a pretty quiet start to the first map, so really coming up big here. And all right, there you go. A little bit of spray and pray there for Flystyle. That's going to be her with the ace, in fact, in that round. Fantastic stuff and really needed as well. I mean, I was questioning how much they had spent into that round, but it pays off. So much chip damage done very, very early on by Lil Z with the scout. So you have 2 players on exceptionally low HP. So Flystyle, not only does she manage to get 2 very important headshots with that deagle that immediately give them that advantage, but she's then able to clean it up.
Oh, of course, trying to deny, but pressing over towards the B site. And they do find the initial openings. Molotov are coming through, but the cross being made now over towards that water. But what a shot from Julie. Deletes Flystyle, and this game is going round for round. It's turning the tides, and potentially this could be another round where Black Dragons or MIBR, you know, they change hands, where on paper the side who should have won it will be able to. They're going to take a little bit of a damage from that Molotov, but the bomb will be able to go down. Numbers favoring the T side, but the economic situation isn't really. We see an M4A1S and a Galil, but it's only a Tech 9 for Goddess as she plays anti-flash. Might want to go aggressive as well. Try to swing away forward. Going to be able to fight 1. And Hera forward. It's all down to Littles, and she has a lot to do, a little to work with. And she's going to be domed. It's a 1-for-1 trade. And Black Dragon's just about take back that lead. It's a slim 1-round lead.
I mean, we talk about the Tech 9 from Goddess approaching into the backside there, and in my mind, I'm going, if anyone's going to pull this off, it's got to be Goddess, and she does. Fantastic work there. Okay, she does get traded out very quickly, but she keeps things in favor of Black Dragon. She slows down the attempt at a retake and helps confirm that round for her team. A round that Made in Brazil probably should have come out on top of. So yes, we are kind of going back and forth here, but oh, goodness me, that aggression into Banana gets immediately shut down. There is a trade eventually, but it's definitely favoring Black Dragons here. The aggression from MIBR pays off very well.
Say that again. I mean, that's actually worked brilliantly for them, but now numbers do favor MIBR. We've seen the initial kind of run of that damage in towards Banana. They found information. It's a 2-2 split. And for Made in Brazil, they're playing passive, missed shot with the Deagle, and Littles has to drop back in towards the side, and they force in towards the hands of Hera. She can drop a smoke herself, drop back in towards Mini Pit, trying to deny that presence over towards the B side. The Deagle from behind, able to find one. The quick trade coming in. Littles now isolated in towards Cold's airbox, trying to deny the presence on towards the A side and buy time for the rotation. And with the smokes in their face, the T side have nowhere to go. They have to wait for them to dissipate. And Littles has done the perfect job here of just allowing time for that rotation to come in, which we do see the MP9 at range taking a couple of pop shots. And the Eagle, Little's trying to deny that presence. Only a couple of shots. MP9 not going to be able to trade either. Younger with 1 point of HP going to be able to get that bomb down. That's enough. The question is, what can Goddess do with AK-47 now?
Oh, we see what she can do with the Tech 9. I'm sure she can be an absolute monster with an AK, but with only 1 HP, it's going to keep things difficult for Younger here. Spot that one, gets the kill. Oh, and the cross is good! Phenomenal stuff there, and for her to pixel hit onto that headshot, I mean, that's huge. If she dies there, I'm not sure that they're able to clutch out that round. This is a round that MIBR get way more than I think they bargained for. Given what they came into the round with, they do keep it relatively expensive. Not so expensive that they keep guns out of the Black Dragon players' hands, however, and of course, into this round, they don't have really anything to work with. So it is going to be a bit of a rush out of A main, get themselves mowed down, and then prep for the next round.
Oh, well, at the very least, they found 2. That could actually be some rifles collected, and it will, but immediately one of the Galils dropped. So it's not the end of the world from MIBR. I'm looking for more. Not going to find it, though. Julie going to shut down Littles. It's the AK-47 of Kissa. And to be honest, she might even just opt for a saver. Yeah, they will be able to buy into the next round regardless, but AK-47 is not a weapon they can collect. She might even be able to cause a little bit more damage as well. Trying to catch one in towards that mid position. Julie's going for a side bit of a push, but it's Goddess who should take the initial point of contact. Turning it back, though, at the worst possible time. That's a free kill. Goddess will close that one out. 4th round for Black Dragons, a 3-round lead, but that very nearly turned the tides.
A good attempt there to hold on to that AK. And yeah, I mean, every time we come into like an eco round or like a half buy or something to that effect, I'm like, yeah, this should be a pretty fair cleanup. And it generally is, but it's still kept very expensive. And again, you know, off the back of winning more rounds in a row, Black Dragon's starting to look a little bit more comfortable in terms of what their economy has left over for them. But it's MIBR now who are finally able to buy in. And again, it's not a perfect buy by any measure, but they have a little bit more to work with at the very least. Now, however, Black Dragons, once again, you know, constantly changing up their positioning, changing up their pacing. They're going for an A play here. Nice little smoke's going to come out as well to shut down a lot of those sight lines.
Ooh, aggression from the CT sides works brilliantly. MIBR have found the initial point of that contact. They're going to find more. We've got S falling. It's all down to 1. It's Younger. 1 versus 4. I think this time, this now becomes very difficult. Just to isolate these fights. It's a 2-2 split, as we've seen time and time again, but it's easier than done. Flashing towards a Banana. Could be given a freebie here. She's just biding her time, waiting for an opportunity. Head spotted, information relayed. Good for 1, look for the second. Not going to find it. Shut down. That's MIBR to find their second. And, well, we're back to a somewhat level-ish standing, but for MIBR, this is an opportunity. The glass floor is still there for both of these two sides, though. I mean, they can't kind of afford to go with these overzealous buys, and that's what we're seeing. Hence why actually Black Dragon, they're just going to go for the pistol buy.
That previous round was exactly what I wanted to see from MIBR coming into their CT side, using those smokes to isolate those fights. And even when Black Dragons swing out together, they've made up a really good cross for themselves, a nice little high ground crossed with the lower ground here as well in the patio. But now it's Black Dragons who are using a lot of their utility to start to rotate in. A lot of them get mowed down. There is a trade, but with so little HP, bomb gets dropped, and now Goddess is the last one left alive, nowhere near the bomb as well. And there you go. That's that little bit of cleanup, of course, to be expected given the bye that they came into the round with. But we're 1 round away from evening things out.
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, that's a round that you expected to go the way of MIBR. Once the bomb was dropped as well, it was actually only going to go one way. They do make it at the very least somewhat expensive, finding a kill, just slightly damaging the economy. But I mean, it doesn't make too much of an issue. But yeah, as you mentioned, now this is the real opportunity. A full buy coming out for Black Dragons, failing to convert. MIBR not only tie the game up, but break their economy, and this leads for a good spell, but a good pick. Younger, she was waiting. She knew exactly what was going to happen. I read that one like a book.
The patient play sometimes really does pay off. MIBR sometimes get a little bit antsy and peek out. And oh, that's beautiful. That could have been a very important trade, but instead, it's Goddess who comes up on top of that one. That gives them a massive numbers advantage. They've almost cleared out this A site, but they're not aware of Flystyle. If she can stay kind of hidden and catch on the rotation, this could be huge.
Well, she was waiting, holding, trying to see if she can buy some time. Dina, what a shot. Pixel perfect. As Arkina falls, and that's Kizza all alone. 1 versus 5, and probably Sam. I think it's safe to say that this should only go one way. I mean, in a 1 versus 5, she might potentially be able to cause a little bit of an economical damage over towards the seaside, but it won't take away from them finding their fifth, finding a 2-round lead. She does find some damage, 2 kills, and potentially it's still doable. The bomb's only half ticked. There's not a kit to work with. And Molotov on the smoke as well, not the end of the world. The Orb is holding away, trying to bait out the shot. Younger, though, not going to be able to fall for that sort of trap, and we're brought back to a 2-round gap.
I love that aggressive stance from Black Dragons. And again, you know, both of these two teams have done really well at consistently changing up their pacing and changing up their approach to each of these rounds. So in this one, Younger gets a really nice early pick-off, and they're able to gain control over towards the A site, with Goddess, of course, being that tip of the spear, pushing in very early on through that smoke, gets that first kill, and that gives them all of the space that they need. So now they're going to go for a similar approach, but it's not going to be Younger getting the opening kill. It's going to be Julie towards Banana. They have the run of this map, and once again, MIBR look a little stumped.
At the moment, not looking too good, but of course, it is a very mixed bag of buys coming out. They've lost the initial fighting towards Banana. It does leave now only one. It's Kizza, the isolated pillar over towards that B site. And I like what Black Dragons are doing. They're not overextending. They're not kind of trying to double down on that aggression. They're just waiting for the slight overextension or mistake from the CT side to then punish. They're slowly going over towards B. Yes, nice pop flash as well. Will force Kizza back off the angle. But God, I like what she's doing as well. She's baiting out a rotation over towards A, and at the very least, potentially causing a problem in that rotation as she holds in the smoke. Could be one to find something, but it's Kizza alone on the side. She forwards Goddess over towards A. I was eyes peeled on the mini-map, wait to see what she can find and to double to close things out as Black Dragons to find 6 and to break the economy of MIBR.
And these early pickoffs have been so instrumental for Black Dragons. You know, it's been a bit rough for them to get those early round picks, but now they're starting to get them more consistently. And as soon as they get an early pick, that's usually the signal for them to push very aggressively towards whichever site that first pick came from. So 2 rounds back, we see Younger get a pick towards mid. They commit to the A site. The previous round, Julie gets a pick over on Banana. They commit to the B site. Now with MIBR taking a timeout, that has to be something that they notice, right? That has to be a thing that they realize, okay, wherever that first pick is going to be, it's likely that that's where they're going to aggress in. So how are we going to respond to that? Are we going to respond to that with a slightly more passive play and wait for reinforcements to come in? Or, you know, what exactly is the play going to be? Now they've taken a moment to just discuss a little bit. And of course, coming into this round, there is no buy whatsoever for MIBR. It's a case of get this round over with. Try to keep it expensive, although doing damage to the economy isn't going to do too much to Black Dragons at this point. But it's just about making sure they've got guns going into the next round, and hopefully whatever strategy they've come up with in that timeout will help them to, you know, get back on track.
Yeah, turn the tides a little bit, right? I mean, that's exactly kind of what we need, but you look towards MIBR, USPSs. We've seen them cause damage before, but it shouldn't be a problem. They've gamble stacked over towards A, and, well, I mean, as we'll see, they're slowly starting to realize there's no one over towards B. They haven't been tested, no peak, no information, no sound cue, and I think realistically Black Dragons have an idea of where they want to go. They still need to collect that bomb, though. I mean, the 4 players have gone towards top B, but they haven't got the bomb to work with. It's all well and good making your way over towards the site. You need to get that bomb down if you want to be able to close this round out. And I think what we all see is Goddess pick it up and rotate it over. They're going to clear the site. No one's there. Bomb to go down, and yeah, rotation will come through. I mean, for MIBR, there's no point just saving the pistols. They may as well at least test it. Try and find as many kills as they can. But we'll have to wait and see. He's not going to take away from the round, though, is it? He's going to be a 7 for Black Dragons. And this is already starting to become an issue where this is the similar sort of gap that we saw in the first map. Straight down towards Banana, triple, quad, and the ace for Nani. All 5, and the celebrations in the T-side camp of Black Dragons. Well deserved.
Second ace of the day for Nani. You love to see it. And she does tend to have the nice little celebrations there, which are always fun to watch. This is an interesting replay. And a little bit of a dance coming through there. But there you go. There's the spray down. Easy. It's absolutely disgusting.
Textbook.
I mean, you talk about textbook. That whole round was textbook. The gamble stack towards A, the attempt at a retake, and then the absolute decimation of Made in Brazil. But now they come into this round and they do actually have some weapons available. Now we see what the fruits of that pause will be, if any. And we're seeing a slightly more aggressive push through apps here. We haven't really seen this from MIBR previously. Maybe it pays off for them. Oh, do you know? Do you know? You don't know! Oh, they win anyway. Nice.
Just about as well. I mean, it was down to 19. Hera takes damage to a 73. This is the easiest of situations. This is a second orange, though. The flash is perfect. But Arkina and Flytiles found one of her own. Nani's stuck in towards the backlines, though. And this becomes a problem because I don't think they're aware that she has made a way in that rotation. She might be able to line up a double here. She's slowly pushing back over towards the B site, relaying the information necessary. One flash is all that she needs as well. It's all about timing. That's part of the first one tap. That's all she needs. Look for the second. The spray will be brilliant. Nani has been the closer, the difference makers. The Molotov will come through in towards Church, and this should deny this presence. The bomb will be able to go down. It's a question of now how the CT rotating. Nani, yes, one more. She's looking for the quad of the low HP of Littles. She should be able to do exactly that. She pokes up into the elevated angle. Black Dragons, they're gunning for 8, and on a 1 versus 2 for Littles, this has to be a picture perfect round, and it's not going to be the case. Nani, that is textbook. She's been one of the best players out this series, and that round, those 2 rounds, put her comfortably in the MVP candidate.
I mean, 9 kills in 2 rounds? Come on. She only has 12 kills in this half. So the last 2 rounds have just been her going absolutely mental. And what makes us so sad for MIBR is they almost had it. They were so close. Whatever they planned in that tap pause worked out really well until Nani found herself on a lurk. Until she found herself in their back line and they had no idea. A small misplay. They didn't even check it. And they get shut down by something so small. And it's heartbreaking because now we're at a 5-round differential on the T side for Black Dragons. They are at a runaway. It's another pistol round for MIBR. That's going to put us so close to double digits. This is looking so scary.
It is. It's kind of already looking similar to what we saw in that first half from Black Dragons in map number 1, right? Where it was 10-5 there, and that was just enough of a gap where there was no response, or not enough of a response. Nice to come through, but a brilliant clearance, Julie. 1 looking for 2. Damage dealt, but not the kill. Flystyle lead's going to cause an issue. They make their way over to the A side, walking straight towards 1. But unfortunately for Kids, she's unable to deny. It's a completely barren A bomb site. As the CT's rotating, they're not going to be able to win the foot race. And God is actually trying to close them down in transition. That's brilliant. I mean, Black Dragons, they look like an elevated amount of confidence from them as they have just been the difference makers. At the very least, Hera does find herself a consolation kill, and AK Collector's a slight cherry on top. But I think it's going to be only that. Just a consolation, keep hold of what she's got. And unfortunately, 9 in the hands of Black Dragons is putting them closer towards double digits. And they don't even manage to save the AK-47.
Oh, that's heartbreaking. I actually thought that Goddess would have spotted the barrel of that pistol, but I don't know if it was just too late or if she just didn't see it at all. But yes, that's a second kill for MIBR in that round, but unfortunately it's not enough. They've tried to keep things expensive, they've tried to keep things close, but look at this cash for Black Dragons. Nani, off the back of having 2 phenomenal rounds, is sitting at $12,500.
Yeah.
Dina, I don't know, she's just been raking in the cash round after round. It's not even like low deaths. It's not high kills. It's just consistency, right? She just keeps that cash flowing round after round. And I'm actually somewhat taken aback that we're not seeing the AWP come out, because I mean, it's gotten results round after round. And I would have expected Younger to just keep pushing with that. But I think that they are kind of favoring that little bit more leeway that they have when they go full AKs. With the AWP, you have to play that little bit more passive, that little bit more patient, instead of just being able to push in with the rest of your team and help to take the space necessary. And, well, they continue along with that streak. I think we could be looking at another very scary scoreline here. We've only got, what, 3 rounds left here? We're so close to repeating the previous scoreline. Hopefully MIBR can string the next few rounds together and make it a slightly better half than what we saw on the previous map. But they've just looked so outclassed on this whole series.
Exactly that. I think you've absolutely spot on. I mean, yeah, for Younger, you speak about the AWP. She picked it up once, right, where she kind of utilized it relatively well. You find that opening kill with the boost in towards mid. But I think what Black Dragons have realized is by going aggressive, stepping up that tempo, they just generally can rely on their aim duels of the AK-47s to do enough damage and put the pressure over towards MIBR, and that's all that they need. I mean, this is kind of one of those scenarios and situations for them where an AWP is great in certain situations, but it's not necessary for them at the moment because everything is looking, wow, very comfortable. 9-3. They've got a wealth of a lead, and we already spoke about kind of the 10-5 being potentially the question of kind of too little too late for MIBR, and this could even be worse.
Now, bearing in mind, we are in a little bit of a tech pause here. One of the players is having some difficulties, so they will be jumping back in as soon as possible. Look at the high spirits here for Black Dragons. I mean, there's clearly a little bit of stress there. You can see it underneath the smiles and the laughter, and they're realizing they can't get too complacent. But I love that we have these cams. I love that we get to kind of peek behind the curtain a little bit and see what the feelings are and, you know, what's kind of potentially going through their minds as they try and recoup and get their mental back into this. I think the team that's really going to be struggling the most now in terms of the mental is definitely going to be Made in Brazil. Off the back of a uninspired overpass, and this first half has not gone the way they would have wanted on their CT side. They would have wanted to run away so much more with this half, and it's been rough. And I'm not sure how they bring it back on the T side, because if their CT side is looking this disjointed and you have to be that much more coordinated on a T side, I'm not too sure they're going to be able to turn this back around.
No, I agree. I think that is realistically the big issue where, as we saw in map number 1, they kind of just left things too late. And the thing is that Made in Brazil are on the arguably more preferential side of CT. When you look towards Inferno, generally speaking, the CT side is where you find, you know, statistically speaking, a little bit more of that success. And this is now where I go back to what I said at the start of this series, that for Overpass, for MIBR, that was their win factor. They didn't lose that. I don't think they'd be able to take the series. And this is what we're seeing now. I mean, it's looking like it's getting closer and closer to a 2-0 where Black Dragons just close this one out just by being the slightly better side in terms of consistency. And that's been the biggest thing. MIBR have looked great at times, sporadically, like, you know, an unstoppable side when they get momentum in their favor, but they're struggling to get momentum in their favor at the moment. And credit where credit's due, Black Dragons are very good at just picking those rounds over, not making those rookie mistakes that we've seen from times from MIBR, and, well, in doing so, building up a 6-round lead and closing out to potentially double digits in the first half.
Well, you say sporadically, and I think that in and of itself is probably one of the problems, right? We talk about how important it is to be consistent. And unfortunately, MIBR are struggling to find that consistency. I mean, you just look at the difference between map 1 and map 2 in terms of which players are doing well. Flystyle, who had a very, very quiet first map, is now off the charts compared to the rest of her teammates. And it's those small things that build up to make a difference. If your team can't consistently perform, you're going to struggle to consistently get results. Black Dragons on the other side, Nanny, Goddess, Julie, they've always been up there, right? They've always been performing very well, and they continue to do so here. Younger slightly below, but I mean, she plays a more supportive role. She plays like an AWP, or she's playing a little bit further back into the back line. So you're not really expecting her necessarily to be raking in the kills, but she's still up there. She's still doing well, and that's really important to maintain a level of consistency where no matter what happens, you are still getting kills, still helping to create space, still being a pivotal part of each round. And MIBR have been struggling, their individual players, to consistently get those results. But now this is where I get excited, because Little Z has picked up that AWP. We haven't really seen her with it in this first half on this map. And it has been a struggle to build up the economy necessary to get that into her hands. But now she has it available. We know what a monster she can be with it. And hopefully she can start to turn things around for MIBR.
They need to. It's now or never. I mean, what we look towards MIBR, this could be one of their last fullish buys of this first half. I mean, it's really getting down to the wire now. The AWP has come out, the initial damage dealt over towards CT side, but for Flystyle, not the end of the world. The early rotation being made over towards B here. Now, they're going for a slight stack in his favor, and that's where the AWP's rotating over. But the problem is, Sam, it's looking like they want to go for an A-pop here.
I mean, there was just a little bit of util used towards the top of Banana, and Made in Brazil kind of trigger their way towards a very early rotation. But I see a little bit of push towards Banana. If they go for a flank, it could work, but I doubt they will. And even if they do, it's taking so long, the results just won't be there. So now as the util comes onto the A site, as we mentioned, finally the rotations come through, but it's Flystyle and Hera holding it down.
Brilliant hold as well. 1 versus 3, and potentially now the bomb to go down. It will, in fact, be able to go down. Molotov will spread, which will cause Younger a bit of a problem. She falls, but at the very least, the bomb planted. I mean, their economy is fine. They'll be able to buy nonetheless, but a much, much better round. Jumping out of apartments, going for that dive was the right idea. The execution just wasn't quite there, and because of that, that left things a little bit dicey. Once they recuperated from being blinded, it was just the crossfire. It was perfect for MIBR, a much more conclusive A-side hold there. And that's what we need to see. Can they get momentum? Can they use it as a catalyst?
100%. I mean, I was so concerned with those early rotations over towards the B site. And I mean, I was kind of trained on those rotations because I was like, this is going to be pivotal. I wasn't sure that the two players on site, Flystyle and Hera, were going to be able to hold it down, just the two of them. But they do a fantastic job of it. But now, Black Dragons, I mean, we see Made in Brazil take a slightly more aggressive stance, and Black Dragons just wait for them to walk into their crosshairs. Yes, it does get traded out, but this definitely favors Black Dragons. 4 versus 4 here. Bomb hasn't picked a direction just yet. A lot of noise made over towards A. They're hoping this is full rotations, but it hasn't.
Yeah, as we stand, no. It's slow. It's methodical. As Black Dragon still holding over towards that B site, and in comes the utility about to pop their way forward. It's looking like they're rotating away the Z side. Oh, MIBR, I think they've called this wrong. The rotation being made away, Flystyle doubling back over towards the A site. And when the utility pops over towards B, she got a long road to recovery, but at least the AWP shot will find one. So towards front side of sight. Littles needs to deny this presence over towards the site as much as she can. Buy time for the rotation to come in, and she's done exactly that. The AWP's holding in, the smoke will come through. Shot through the box could be good enough, but doesn't take the shot, doesn't pull the trigger. Numbers favor. Oh, the damage out! Denies the bomb going down. It's down to just one. It's Danny all alone. We've seen brilliant rounds from her. 9 kills in 2 rounds prior, but this looks like a task too tall, and it is 9-5. It's looking like we might see a similar result to what we did in Overpass. The question is, can Made in Brazil do themselves one better in this first half?
Oh, slight misplace here. I mean, that first kill with the AWP shot, they were waiting. They were busy rounding the corner, and then the util starts coming out, and maybe they weren't expecting the AWP there. Maybe they were expecting that a bit of a Ferrari peak was going to get them the space they needed to, cross without actually getting caught out. Doesn't work. And that first kill comes through, and at that point, it's just the dominoes falling. We mentioned Little Z, an absolute monster with that AWP in her hands, and she proves it right there in that round. Now Dragons going for a slightly more passive play. They have been doing this for a couple of those rounds, trying to get a little bit of information before they actually commit to anything. See a lot of utility used here towards this kind of brackets area. But again, Bomb hasn't picked a direction yet. They're looking to get that early kill like we spoke about earlier, but MIBR are making that difficult.
Exactly that. In comes the early bits of utility. They've managed to get top mid control. All comes alive though. We mentioned Little's the AWP, what she can do, and she's stepping up to the plate once again. Numbers favouring MIBR. They're looking to double it down, and they will be able to do exactly that. It's looking like it's a 6th round on the board. For them at the half, it's down to just the 2. It's Younger and Julie, an AK-47 and an AWP to deny in a 2 versus 5. Just 1. And that Arkina all alone isolates over towards this B site. So they will be able to get their way on towards the site itself. It's a question of what they can do further. The AWP holding wanted to go aggressive. Younger, shotgun AWPing. No scope will connect as well. So at the very least, there's an opportunity, a possibility of turning a 2 versus 5 in their favor, but it's still a long road to making that a possibility. Younger will hold at range. Fly still coming in for the rotation as well. The Molotov will give away her position on the flank, but it's as they flood their way through, it now starts to go more and more in favor of the CT side. Or so I say, they turn the numbers in their favor. It's a 1 versus 1. All versus all. As Younger shows exactly where Flystyle's coming from. The smoke will come through. She's just trying to shotgun orb to just buy a little bit of time. It's all about timing. A leg as well, but Littles comes out on top. Will have enough time for the defuse. Oh, so close and oh, so unfortunate for Younger. But at the half, 9-6, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you after the break.
Seen it all, got my scars down the road, been working hard to the bone, I'm moving on and heavy load. Life is long and don't you know, being wrong takes a toll. Wear you down to the bone. The things you love, they keep you going. Pull that brake, crack that whip, ride like lightning, go on, get. If I reach the end, find a place to rest my head, travel far down the road, moving on is all I know.
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Map number 2 here in South America, and so far, Black Dragons lead 9-6. But as to be said, it's a slim lead. I mean, if MIBR take themselves a pistol round, they should be able to get a bit closer to tying this game back up, and then it's all guns a-blazing to see who can book their tickets towards Dallas.
I was really happy with the adaptations that we saw from MIBR. One of the big things I'd mentioned was Black Dragons, their main aim had been get an early pick-off, and then based off of that, they'll determine where they're going to push in. MIBR, after that long tech pause, they realize, okay, we just play passive now. We don't allow them, we don't overplay our hand and give them that first early kill. And then we force them to have to move in. Because again, I say this so often, but I mean, the T's, they have to. They're on the clock. They have to move.
Yes, exactly.
And Black Dragons, or rather MIBR, can just kind of chill and wait for them to walk in. Use some of that utility to slow them down a little bit, isolate those 1v1s, and they managed to string those last 3 rounds together. But now, what's more important is, can they string the next few rounds together, get that scoreline tied up?
Wow, that's not a bad start. Goddess makes it 2. Looking at 3, won't quite find it. He comes to support Athena. She's full blind. We're going to be able to drop away in towards mini pit, leaving it just down to 2. Is Flystyle and Littles in a tough, very tough 2 versus 4. And they have to rotate back over towards the B site, and there's still someone present, but it is just Nanny. But of course, if you're thinking about it, Sam, if you want anyone all alone over towards the site, you would probably want it to be Nanny. She's had a fantastic game so far. She found, as we mentioned earlier, 9 kills in 2 rounds. And she's the last bastion to try and deny this presence over towards the B site. Sound cues have been heard. She's all too aware. The rotation's being made. They know they made their way on towards the site, and she picked it up with ease. Good one. Looking for 2. Damage dealt, and Flystyle on a tough position. Can we be able to get that bomb down? It seems like it. Yes. So we'll be able to get the bomb down at the very least for a 1 versus 4. The decoy comes forward. They're finding their way forward. She just found herself bomb, but immediately traded. Means that Black Dragons, first side, hit double digits. And that's with a map under their belt already.
This is not the start MIBR would have wanted. Okay, they do get that bomb down, so that definitely helps a lot. But unfortunately, they don't win out the round. And I think that is a really big impact, because obviously that lets Black Dragons get themselves onto double digits, and they don't have that extra little bit of cash in the back pocket. Now, they are going to force in a little bit here, not as much as we'd seen on the previous map, just the 2 AKs. And of course the Mac 10 as well, just to kind of complement that with a couple of Deagles. There is a little bit of util that they can use here, but Black Dragons, I mean, they're not sitting pretty either here. They don't really have a whole heck of a lot. They've got even less util, it looks like, to me. So this round could realistically go either way.
I mean, yeah, it's not, completely decided, right? I mean, MIBR, we've seen what they can do with the Eagles. They've got a double AK to work with. Bit of initial nade damage will come through. Will favor the CT side as Littles has chunked down to 76. And the slightly mixed buy of the CT side with the MP9s coming out, that FAMAS, the M4A1S, it's not conclusive, is one way to put it, but that tempo slowed right down by MIBR, and it's looking like an A hit here.
Well, that's certainly what it looks like. Let me clear this angle.
Okay.
There we go. Nice little early kill there. As they start to move their way back over towards the B site, in fact. But I love this because while there is a trade out, this is going to create a huge pincer opportunity.
It's the right decision to go aggressive here. She has to go down the early bits of information. Drops the bomb and throw down the MP9 from behind. It's a 1-for-1. Now on a 2 versus 2, the B site is open. The plant comes through, and this is a long rotation back in towards the site. And Younger only has a USP. She doesn't have a weapon to work with. We'll pick up the Deagle herself. I think she was hoping for a rifle to be dropped somewhere near Banana, but unfortunately for her, not going to be the case. This time picks up a FAMAS. Will make it all the more easier. She's leading the charge in that rotation, back in the way forward. Flash will come through. Close out the early bit of progression towards that of the church position. Molotov's going to tick as well. Flystyle good for one. Looking to make it 2. Not going to find it. It's a 1-for-1, but of course with damage dealt over towards Younger, she's down to 18 points of HP. This more or less confirmed. And MIBR find themselves the round in their favour. As Chizza trying to just find that entry, that exit, may I say. She will fall, but Younger does fall to the bomb as well. So MIBR find 7, bring the deficit down to only 3. And of course, more importantly, the round in their favour breaks that economy of the CT side.
I love the way that they play that. So we see them start to push in towards A, and we're like, oh, it's probably going to be the A hit. No, it's a double back through the CT spawn, basically, back towards the B side to create that pincer. And of course, they lose a few players on the cross. They bring it down to the 2 versus 2. They make it very, very close. And Black Dragons actually very nearly bring things back in their favor. But MIBR do really well at stalling out that time. Now Black Dragons, who obviously forced in the previous round, have very little to use in this round, next to nothing, and that's going to be Arcania getting their first kill. It does get traded out, but it definitely favors MIBR.
Yeah, I mean, you look towards Black Dragons and it's a force buy, but even with it being a force, they've got not a lot to bring to the table. An MP9, 3 Deagles. This should be MIBR finding themselves at 8 and really starting to put the pressure on this lead that Black Dragons built up in that first half that we mentioned was a little bit tentative. So it's not a done story. The rotation we made over towards long. Now you're going to tuck herself in towards this Cubby holding, waiting, finding, looking for 2. This time not going to be able to find it. Damage dealt, and unfortunately not able to close out the kill. But at the very least, the bomb dropped. That's all the information they need. And Dina going to hold in the smoke as well. This could be brilliant. All about timing. She's being spammed through it, though. Very fortunate to stay alive as the rotation being made into the side. But they walk straight to a shot. It's a double 4 looking for 3. Not going to find it. But at range, unfortunately for Julie, she's not able to close out or kill out herself. They know exactly where Dina's coming from. They heard the sound cues earlier to 1-0 versus 1. But they know that rotation's coming through, and it's just an MP9 to deny, trying to close down the space it was holding and waiting. It's all about timing on the peak. She's going to tuck herself in towards that Cubby herself. It's all dicey. She's all too aware, though. Littles with an AK-47 should be able to deliver on towards this kill. Swinging away forward, and she's just about able to close that one out. But you got to say, for Black Dragons with not much of an investment, they at least made it expensive.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best that they could have really hoped for going into that round. But again, it was another round that got very, very close, and it's Lil Z who does very well to kind of stall out the time quite well and make sure that, you know, I mean, Dina knows where she is at all times. You can see from the way that she's jiggling in onto the site. She knows exactly where Little Z's position is, but she's got low HP. She doesn't really have much firepower behind her, and unfortunately, she can't win out that trade. And even if she had, there's very little time left to actually make something happen. So great stuff there from Little Z to secure yet another round for MIBR. It does concern me how close that round was, given that it was basically an eco from Black Dragons. And you have to wonder, okay, now we're going to see another kind of eco next to nothing buy from Black Dragons.
Yeah.
But you have to kind of wonder, now how is the next round going to go when Black Dragons actually do have weaponry back in their hands? If they can make it happen on a low kind of half buy, what can they do when they have, you know, M4s in their hands?
That's the big question. I think that is exactly what we're looking towards. I mean, this is a really comfortable closeout. It's not a round that we need to talk too much about, but I think what we do need to talk about is kind of how Black Dragons on the more preferential side of CT, but they're struggling, right? I mean, their CT side holds are not being good enough. Even when they've had the numbers advantage as well, they've made a couple of rookie mistakes, which is uncharacteristic for them from what we've seen so far in the series, and it's become a slight problem. I mean, as we see, they're fighting towards mid. It should be a comfortable closeout. It will be. Loffair spotted. Flawless round, but nothing to talk about too much about that. But yeah, for MIBR, a much better T-side performance from them than what we saw in terms of map number 1, and they're kind of the polar opposite for Black Dragons, because it's been a bit of a struggle to kickstart things on towards Inferno.
Well, certainly on this second half of things, as MIBR, I mean, I found this quite interesting. We had a series like this, I think it was in Challenger League.
Yeah.
You have two teams that are doing incredibly well on their T side, and their CT sides just look not great. And it's a little surprising on a map like Inferno, but hey-ho, there you have it. Aggressive pushing onto the B side. Very little to hold down this side as well, as there's been like an almost gamble stack towards A. It's a little weird.
Well, now we see kind of that rotation coming through as MIBR trying to close down, a bit of that aggression over towards B. Nani, beautiful dink there to find one more. Young comes in for a second, and that could be enough to close things out. Damage down towards Littles, a 2 versus 4. Made it a 3 versus 2, but with Littles falling, fast all alone, and the flank is good enough. That was a confusing round, to the least. It was looking dire for Black Dragons, but the rotation was really quick, so that gave them kind of the numbers advantage when they found a double off the back of Younger. That closed things out, but it potentially could have gone the other way.
That round was unreasonable, purely because there was only one person holding that B site. And MIBR take a very aggressive push into that site. So you're kind of expecting that they're going to get in onto the site, and the Black Dragons reinforcements are going to take too long to get there, and then hey-ho, it's too late. But somehow, Black Dragons, with a very quick rotation, get themselves into position and completely deny so much as a bomb plant.
Yeah,
they shut that round down so quickly, so effortlessly, and it's something we haven't really seen from this Black Dragons roster on their CT side. They finally get themselves another round here. Black Dragon mind, Lil Z's got the AWP available for herself on this attacking, or on this particular round. We'll see if she can actually make something happen with that. Yeah, very aggressive push up banana here. Doesn't pay off the way they wanted.
That nade, beautiful nade coming through. I mean, Kiz is up to 12, Arkina up to 40 to stun, and for Dina, she should be able to find herself a kill here. Flash will come in. It's a beautiful flash as well. The utility usage from Black Dragons has been phenomenal throughout this entire series, and this is another, prime example of it. And there we go, one by flies by. Molotov in returning towards Pit to try and kind of force out that aggressive peak, but Julie, off the back of the flash, could be able to net herself somewhat of a kill, and will be able to do exactly that. Hera's going to fall. Numbers now heavily in favor of the CT side, and they're making it even more prevalent. Swinging back forward. Young are going to make it 2. It's all down to the AWP. She's all alone. Going to be able to find herself 1. This is just a consolation kill. The question, missed shot, and Julie punishes with 4 remaining alive. Black Dragons find 12. And Sam, they're closing down on that second map, the series, and of course, the ticket towards Dallas.
How have we done this again? We were just talking about how lackluster Black Dragon CT side was looking, and they come through with 2 absolutely stellar rounds. One round that was somewhat unusual, but works out really well. And the second one just comes off the back of some really good angles held and some really good patience as MIBR make their way into Black Dragon's waiting arms. Now they've taken that AWP off the board. Little Z hasn't had the opportunity to get the results with it that she would have wanted to. And MIBR back down onto a pistol here. It's going to be Younger, in fact, who's got the AWP this time around, most likely picked up off of Little Z's dead body.
Easy double for Nani to just comfortably gain that banana control. Another one of those rounds where you can't really expect too much. I mean, for Made in Brazil, it's essentially just it's attack pause without taking attack pause, isn't it? There's no investment. They've kind of slowed things down in towards ramp, but if they try and test over towards banana, they'll be easy met with a crossfire and they just get picked apart. So comfortable for Nani to find herself potentially looking for the ace here. Give it to her. Oh, and they will. Nani. An ace to her name. Not something that we're surprised to see, as it's her 3rd of the day. What a performance she's had in this entire season. 21 kills. Of course, that was just an eco. The second eco ace she's actually found in Inferno alone. And so far, so good. But yeah, 13-9. They're 3 rounds away from the all-lose to 16. And taking not only the map, but the series itself. For Made in Brazil, that pressure is starting to mount. And yet a full buy's come out for them in towards round number 23, but failed to convert. And this could be one of their last full buys.
Nani is terrifying. She's
my.
Whoa, Julie, okay. Some serious aggression here. The run and gun, the Ferrari peak, and she gets 2. And MIBR probably just sat there going, what?
Never should be able to get away with 2. Never. The first kill, yeah, fair enough. Had the spawn for it, kind of wins the foot race and just completely catches them off guard, but never should be able to get the second as well. This is kind of showing some stark signs of MIBR crumbling at the core. I mean, there's only 3 remaining alive, but still not the end of the world. They're making their way back over to what looks like an A-side hit here, but there's 3 players ready and waiting to meet them. An early bit of utility will come forward. Less than a minute left on the clock, and for MIBR, they just look a little bit lost at the moment.
And that kind of has been the thing for this MIBR squad. I mean, they looked really good earlier. Maybe not really good, but they looked a lot more solid.
Yeah.
But somehow Black Dragons have just consistently found the chinks in their armor. There you go. There's another chink. Nobody looking for this alert to come through. It does get traded out, but with just a few players left alive here. Okay, I mean, it is... Okay, never mind. It's possible.
Possible.
But with Younger around the corner there, it was always going to be a tough one. 1 round away from match point. Made in Brazil's econ. Not looking great. I highly doubt they buy too much into this. Surely not. Yeah. That's the best possible decision, I think. I mean, you could theoretically force up here, but if you lose this round, you are absolutely screwed for match point. Now they give themselves a lifeline on the very last round in the half. Unless, I mean, we've seen them pull off heroics. It is possible that they could make something happen here, but it's unlikely.
Yeah, it's unlikely. It's unfortunate as well to lose the initial fight. Nade will come through. Not really caused too much of an issue. Quite literally, 1 point of damage towards 2 of them and 3 to the other. But the numbers in favor of Black Dragon, the firepower as well. And Another round which should comfortably be chalked in their favor. A deep smoking towards Banana denies all of that control. And a tough retake has to be used here. They got 3 flashes to work with. And, you know, you look into kind of the jump peaks being made here by Dina. She doesn't need to do anything special. She was caught out by the flash. She drops a nade in return. It's a beautiful nade as well. It's Harris up to 52. And all she has to do is just fall off the angle. Molotov to come through as well. Will deny all that presence over towards the B side. And allows that rotation to come through, which is more than enough. All she has to do is just buy some time as the CTs come flooding back to deny this presence. There comes Goddess. Good for 1. Looks to make it 2. Drops the bomb as well. Oh. Triple coming in her favor. It's all down to Littles. Deagle and Han. Oh, so cautious of the flank, but she needs to be cautious of the 5 remaining alive for Black Dragons as they are just moments away from 15 rounds. Damage delta, that's all that's going to be. 15-9, and it could be an exact same scoreline in map number 1 for Black Dragons to find a 2-0 in the series.
MIBR have to dig so deep here. I don't know if I see them coming through this. I mean, it is possible to string 6 rounds together. While it is improbable, it's definitely not impossible. It is 100% doable, especially for this MIBR squad that is no team to turn your nose up at. But Black Dragons have looked so clean, so consistently. They have been forced off of their position here on this B site. They're a nice little chunk of util to give over a ton of map control to MIBR. But how do they use it? They're immediately starting to pull back. It's been a bit of a fake over towards B. They leave one player with some presence here to possibly catch someone off guard.
Oh, no.
It's not going to work.
Oh, Harris, she started the spray too early and pays the price for it. Couldn't quite control him. Because of that, now leaves things a little bit dicey into a short. Double stack is brilliant, but only good for 1. It's damage onto his Flystyle and Arkina, but they just about, by the skin of their teeth, stay alive. It's a 3 versus 3. Health definitely favoring the CT side, and this retake got a backbone towards it. They're making their way forward, but a smoking towards Moto at the very least denies that presence. Orb shot as well in favor of the T side. Young is gonna fall, and now this becomes uncomfortable. They're making their way forward, but a smoke in their face, and I think they might even just go for an early safe call. I mean, they've got economy to work with, but you know they've also got rounds to work with too. They don't need to force a retake in their favor. Potentially go for a couple of exit frags. They've got an HE to work with, so a dozy and nade could be something to deny. And, you know, exit frags with the low HP of Flystyle and Arkina could be good enough, in fact, to just cause an issue towards the kind of the long-term side of things. And it will be exactly that. 1 kill, looking to make it another. Littles will fall. A dozy nade going to come through. Won't cause a problem. No, it won't. Dina's going to fall. And with 2 remaining alive, that's MIBR finding double digits. So at the very least, they've done themselves 1 better than Overpass. But can they now tie this one up, win out in overtime, to then go towards the decider? It seems like a long journey, Sam.
This was a good round as well. So we see that heavy presence on Banana, and there's the attempt there to kind of pull a rotation, pull attention away. Now, that first kill coming through does give over a lot of that information that it's not going to be that Banana rush, but the rotation takes a little bit too long. Now we're seeing some crazy aggression out of Black Dragons, and I mean, it somewhat pays off. They trade out 2 for 2. And it forces MIBR to have to pull back a little bit, really slow down. The problem is Black Dragons are spread so thin. We talk about how trades favor the T side, and this is it exactly. If they go for the B side, there's 1 player stacked up there. And I mean, it looks like this could be the play. Of course, it is Younger with the AWP, but with a little bit of that util, they've still got quite a bit left in their back pocket. Be careful of this lurk, though. This could be the linchpin.
I mean, the lurk's coming through. It's a very slowish tempo. If they go for a mid-peak, might pay the price for it, and they will. Arkina with an easy double. This unopen. Round done. MIBR up to 11. Now what I was thinking was not going to be a possibility is starting to get just a little bit more probable, and potentially we could be looking towards an OT on the cards here, Sam. Because MIBR, they look like they found their form. It's still a long road to get there, but they're looking a little bit more conclusive, and their kind of slightly more slower tempo of play style is working really well for them.
It has been a nice little change of pace. We do have to be aware, though. I mean, both of these 2 teams have been very good at making adaptations. And for now, you know, MIBR have kept Black Dragons on their toes, kept them off their game a little bit. But if Black Dragons can figure out the adaptation in the next round or 2, that could be it for MIBR. So MIBR have to be very careful about how they play these next couple of rounds to ensure themselves that OT if possible. 4 rounds away from making that happen. Definitely doable. They're still all right for cash, but it's not perfect. Should be okay. This is going to be for Black Dragons. Slowly but surely, that cash is getting depleted. Julie, surely not. Surely not.
Surely, no. Who's taking the Nova? Who is it? It's going to be Dina, actually. So I'm probably expecting we're going to see Dina over towards half wall on Banana. But yeah, you often see a Nova brought out. And I don't know if this is something which they utilize often. And now no one's picked it up. Oh, no, Julie. There we go. Julie's going to be the one to utilize the Nova.
Here.
Yeah, going over towards the A side. In fact, normally you do see one over towards that of Banana. And speaking of Banana, unfortunately not to find that shot there. Julie going to go aggressive, though. And I like this. She's holding her waiting. At this sort of angle, it's kind of a one-and-done position. All she has to do is exactly that. Hold on the fort. Smoke will come through. Will kind of force the AWP to reevaluate the decisions, and Dina will just be left there.
I mean, I appreciate the ballsiness of it. I also appreciate, like, the AWP in this round, of course, saved over from the previous, but then you've got, like, 3 pistols. It's a bit of a wonky one to try to come out on top of. There should be another MIBR round in the bag. Black Dragons have given over a lot of map control, a lot of map space here. As much as they're drawing out a lot of util, I mean, MIBR still have so much left in the tank here. What I do like is that MIBR are still playing this, like they're not getting overconfident, right? Despite the fact that they know that it's essentially a safe round, they know that they can't underestimate their opponent, and that's exactly why.
5-7, trying to get a couple of pop shots, unfortunately for Dina. Not going to be able to just find the target. The Orcas for support. Second time of asking, does find yet another kill. Numbers in favor of Black Dragon, and this could be it, Sam. Despite them coming in with an AWP and an over, they've got a 2-person advantage as we stand. Bomb to go down, but this is becoming problematic. Spray with the AK. Labor spray won't find the kill. Damage dealt. Another just running away and forward trying to overwhelm the shot. Nova gonna try and deal some damage. Won't be able to do exactly that. It's brought level. At range, the Eagle comes alive, looking for one more. In towards pool, not clear properly. The Nova not gonna be able to find too much either. It's all down to one. Younger from Coffins, but the AWP to work with him. A tough shot to hit. Not gonna be able to do it. That's a 12 for MIBR, but that became a little bit too close for comfort, especially with the limited buy they had to work with.
Yeah, it was very rough. I mean, they tried to keep it expensive, and they do relatively so, but another round in the bag for MIBR means a whole lot of cash in the back pocket as well. Looking very comfortable coming into this round. Black Dragons, I mean, if they concede this round, I think we go to overtime. This is a must-win round for this Black Dragon squad.
Oh, it's not about start either, Goddess. So aggressive, and it works brilliantly in her favor. And now she's going to make a very aggressive decision to run through apartment. Oh, fly style. Very near caught in transition. A beauty of an aid as well will come through. Drop down 78 and a Molotov in towards mid. It allows fly style this control over Boiler. And Julie going to rotate her way back through. The hold is tough, but a mid-committal play seems to be made here. Julie just playing anti-flash. Younger holding in towards mid herself. A smoke in her face. Not exactly what she was looking for. And she's now just going to post up, hold, and try and take a couple of pop shots with the smoke. The rotation be made over towards the B side. It's a nice flash as well. Gives away the sound cues of 2. And it could be enough. Dina, all she has to do is just jiggle peek for information. The second she spots it, just drop a smoke. And that could buy her enough time. The smoke will come through, a flash will come in. In comes the smoke, as we've spoken about. And she might just want to be tempted to wait for a pop flash from a supporting teammate. In MIBR, they're in a tough spot here.
I wonder if she realizes that Kiza has crossed over. Have to keep their eyes trained on that as Black Dragon's taking a little too long to figure out what their next move is going to be. Finally, the rotation comes in, but it's a hard and fast execute onto the site.
Oh no, bomb dropped. 30 seconds left to work with. Molotov will come through. Now he's going to make the passive approach with shot with the AWP. Only had a pixel to work with. 4 versus 2 numbers in favor of Black Dragon. The smoke in towards that Banana. Does isolate the fight somewhat, but a brilliant flank. being played there. Little's going to find Goddess. It's all down to this. And the 2 versus 3, they're making their way forward. Laban Spray will come on the top of the quick trade into 1 versus 2. It's the Orbital Littles. Has to make it a 3K clutch in her favor. There's the first. Capping on towards the first. Has to find the orb. It's not going to be the case, ladies and gentlemen. 16-12. And Black Dragons are your next team to book their tickets towards IEM Dallas. Celebrations all around. It's congratulations towards Black Dragons, but it's commiserations towards MIBR, because that was looking like overtime was on the cards.
I don't think we can... Oh,
look at that. Deserved as well. I mean, they have put their tickets in a 2-0 fashion. I mean, what a performance from them. 6-0 in regular season, Sam, and now they've done it against MIBR, one of the biggest organizations in not only South America, not only CSGO, but the world, right? And they managed to come out on top. Brilliant from them.
Honestly, they make me want